Hello, Driver Radio fans. Richard Rush here today with my dad, John Rush, behind the camera. And this is a review of the 2016 Toyota Land Cruiser. This has been redesigned for this year. It was introduced kind of last year at some of the auto shows. This is the first time we've actually been able to get our hands on a Land Cruiser, actually in a while here. And it's one of our personal favorite large SUVs for a variety of reasons, which we'll get into. But really love what Toyota has done with this redesign. Really like how they've added quite a few different enhanced technologies on here. They've added LED headlights, auto headlights, LED taillights. We'll get into that in just a second. The base price on this car is about $83,000 and some change. Once you add in the destination fees, it bumps it up to about $84,820, so just under $85,000. And some of you are going to say, wow, what in the world? Why would I spend $85,000 on a Toyota? Well, before you kind of come to that conclusion, let us take you through this vehicle, show you what it's all about, show you its capabilities to the best of our abilities, and then you be the judge if this is the car for you or not. So with that being said, let's kind of come around to the front. We'll go on a walkthrough. Again, you can see, if for those of you that are Toyota fans, you can see some of the redesign that they've put into this vehicle. Nice scooping hood that they've done. Really nice, fantastic LED headlights. What I'm gonna pull out my cheat sheet here to make sure I don't miss this. What's new for 2016? A new 8-speed automatic transmission, which we'll show you in the driving portion. Frontal collision avoidance with pedestrian detection. Blind spot monitoring. Rear cross traffic warning. Updated in-tune system and a new dual-screen rear entertainment system as well. We'll get to what's underneath the hood in here in just a second. What's standard, and you can see this nice pretty blue color. It almost comes off as black in certain sunlight, but it also comes off as a nice pretty blue. You have 18-inch alloy wheels, auto LED headlights, auto wipers, privacy glass in the rear, sunroof, running boards, LED tail lights, and I'll kind of come into here, apologize for the cheat sheet. Keyless entry and ignition, and you also have a nice overview camera system, which is fantastic for this vehicle, especially parking it. And it is a larger size vehicle, so it's a little bit difficult to get into some tighter spaces. So that camera system is really nice and handy. Also, a few other nice features which we'll talk about. It has a locking center differential. It has a kinetic dynamic suspension system. And some of you are going to say, "What is that?" Well, and actually, I did. What it does, it electronically adjusts the stabilizer bars. For when you're off-road, whatever you might be doing, it actually helps with that, so you don't have to do that manual anymore. It has a 5-speed crawl control, the multi-terrain select, off-road turn assist, which applies the brakes to the inner wheels, helps you turn a little bit better. Absolutely fantastic. So with that being said, actually, let's take a quick drive. We're going to come back, we're going to go through the interior of this vehicle, which is where, in my opinion, the majority of the features and the value is where is on the inside of this vehicle. You do have, again, a nice third row seat. You have seating for 8 in this vehicle, and I guess the best way I would describe this before we take it on road is this vehicle is best suited off-road. We actually went on a safari back in when was that, Dad? About 2006, 2007, when I was younger. And we came back from it, and what they said, and what the Africans like to say over there, is if you want to go on safari, you take a Land Rover. If you want to come back from safari, you take a Land Cruiser. If that tells you anything about what the rest of the world thinks of this Land Cruiser Toyota brand. So with that being said, let's take a quick drive. We'll come back. We'll go through the interior of the 2016 Toyota Land Cruiser. All right, fans, we're here for the driving portion of the 2016 Toyota Land Cruiser. Before we get to driving, we're going to show you some of the interior features. It's a little harder to share when we're kind of just walking through it. One thing I'm going to show you real quick, right down here for the second row passengers, we talked about this a lot. Here's your entertainment controls, your climate control, the heated seats controls. All your different controls are down here, laid out very, very easily, very, very simple. I encourage you get out and actually test these controls yourself, because we could spend an entire 15-minute segment on just the features on the interior of this vehicle. It has that many. So something to note. As we come here real quick, do you want to show this? It does have a sunroof, but still gives ample headroom in here, which is absolutely fantastic. Some nice soft touch features in here, and it's hard to explain it, but again, for an $85,000 car, you would expect it, and you actually get it. Very, very nice, soft, against just some nice soft touch materials right there. And here is the new 9-inch Entune display, which is absolutely fantastic to use. A lot of touchscreen controls. I'm going to try and not use my hand as much so you can actually see it. This is the home screen. You can see we've been averaging about 15 miles per gallon, which is what this car is rated for. It's actually 13 and 18 between city and highway. If you want to go to the navigation screen, you just hit that. Very easy to use, very simple to use. The audio, then again, this nice JBL system works really, really fantastic. It's a breeze to use. You have iHeartRadio, Pandora. Oh, I apologize about that. Nice iHeartRadio system. Very, again, the Entune system we've become accustomed to using. Dual climate control right here. The ability to control all of most of your controls right through here. If you want to get more in depth, you just hit the climate button. You can get more in depth right there. A tune knob, which my wife loved. The power volume knob, which we mentioned. The steering wheel controls. I'll kind of straighten this out real quick. You have your lane departure, being able to turn on and off that feature right here. Here's for your cruise control, the ability to shorten or lengthen your distance. Answer your phone calls. This is a little bit redesigned than most Toyotas you would find. A little bit sleeker of a look in our opinion. There's a lot of buttons and controls, the automatic wipers, the automatic headlights. We could sit here for a long time and show you that. Just wanted to get you a brief overview of what the front of this cockpit and cabin does look like. Very easy to maneuver. You have the ability of actually setting 3 different memory system or settings for the driver, which is absolutely awesome and fantastic. So with that, with all that being said, want to show you the backup camera. There's 2 portions to this screen, obviously. There's the direct backup camera right here, as well as the overview camera system, which is really, really nice and easy to use. So I'm going to back up. I'm not even going to turn my head, which we don't recommend. You never lie just on the systems. But I'm going to go, and I'm using both. Again, the camera, and I apologize about the shadows. It's not great. And actually here, maybe this will be a little bit better right here, Dad. You can see the dynamic grid line, not only on the trailer hitch side, but also right here on the overhead camera side actually shows you where your front end is going to kick out to as you turn the steering wheel. So really, really nice features. Just honestly, it works absolutely fantastic. I can't complain about it from the security and safety sense of things. It really is a great feature. My wife commented about how much she loved that, especially for her. If you have kids, you don't have, if you have car seats, you don't have the ability at maneuvering quite as well with that. So as we get driving, you've got a 381 horsepower, 5.7 liter V8 underneath the hood. As we mentioned before, has the capability of you have that nice off-road capability. Towing rating is 8,100 pounds, so that's 8,100 pounds, which is honestly a very good rating, especially for a vehicle of this size. It has a lot of all-terrain capabilities with this vehicle. More so than its competitors, you're going to be able to take this car and this SUV off-road without too many issues. All right, fans, we apologize about that. With the Colorado sun here in the afternoon, we wanted to make it a little bit better for you to kind of see, and we can kind of talk a little bit more about the features. As we get driving, one thing you will notice, and I'll actually stay quiet here for a second, the quietness of this cabin. Even with the 381 horsepower, 5.7 liter V8 underneath the hood, you don't hear it all that often. So real quick, I'll be quiet. You can kind of hear what it sounds like. Very quiet car, very nice on-road capabilities. You will read some reviews out there about saying you're going to find some of its competitors are better on the road than off. And honestly, in my opinion, this car gives you some of the best on-road and off-road capabilities of any car in this segment. Obviously, it's going to outperform its competitors off the road, but in my opinion, in our opinion, which we'll get to in a little bit, it actually holds its own just fine in the on-road capabilities portion of this. You can tow 8,100 pounds, so if you're going to use this vehicle for camping, whatever you might be doing, a little bit of back road, off-roading, you definitely have the capability of doing that. This car works really, really well. We would encourage you to get out and test drive it because we can't even begin to touch all the features that this car does have, the vehicle does have. So with that, let's head back. We'll actually go through the third row, and then we'll go through the interior a little bit more in depth and give you our opinion of the 2016 Toyota Land Cruiser. All right, fans, we're back from the driving portion, and we're going to kind of go through the third row seating, the cargo capacity, and again, the second row seating as well. So real quick, I'm going to hop around here. I apologize for the shadows. Rear hatch comes in two pieces, kind of the top and the bottom. One thing I will say, $85,000 car, no automatic hatch. You pull up, and it does, once you get it going, lift all the way up. Something to note also with this kind of tailgate design, it doesn't have an easy fold tailgate. It just has you have to kind of set it down yourself. So you're here. If you had both seats up back here, you have about 16, let me get it right here, because I know some of you will correct me on it. About 16 cubic feet of cargo room here in the back seat with both seat up, with the third row up. If you don't have the third row up and you have them to the side, you have about 43 cubic feet. One thing, and we'll get to this in the opinion, these just fold up into the side, which eliminates some of the side cargo capacity room. Something to note, we'll get to that in the opinion portion a little bit later. All right, fans, we actually kind of readjusted. You'll notice in the video before, we actually had this seat down just to show you that, but we wanted to show you how easy it is to put these seats down. Not automatic, but relatively simple. All you do, there's a nice little lever on both sides for both seats. So you put this, it releases it, you pull it down, lock it into place. You use this grab handle right here, lift it up, pull it back, it locks into place. There's a little lever right here for the headrest. Pop it up, and you are now ready to go. One thing that we will note right here, for this back row seating, if you get anyone that's even a mid-sized teenager, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to have much room here in the third row seat. So really it is for some small kids. Again, if you have a family of again, 5, 6, 7 potentially, which actually we have a family that large, is very good for that family because you can put your small kids in the back and not worry about them being too crammed, which is a really, really nice feature. And putting this down real quick, or show you putting it up, you fold it down, you actually pull this, push it forward, lift right here, and all this with one hand, and you're ready to go here. So with that, actually, let's put this up. Real quick, there is a power port on that other side there. We apologize for the shadows. Winter/springtime here in Colorado, very difficult to do. You do have real quick right here some nice storage capacity underneath here. It gives you the ability to store some emergency kits, some things like that. So something to note, and slide groceries in and out without having to hook them over the tailgate. So a very nice feature. Again, no automatic to open or close. Let's come around here to the second row seating. So one thing we will show here real quick before we even get into it, you can see, again, we mentioned this in the open, the dual TV screens, the dual entertainment screens that we'll talk about here in just a second. Before we do that, I want to show you how easy it is to actually maneuver into the back seat. So it's hard to see. Dad, I'm going to actually just kind of talk about it as you get there. You have a foot right here, a footrest right here. Right here, it's hidden, but there's actually a little thing to put down. So what you do is, all you do is you pull this, it flips up, and at the same time comes all the way up. So if you have a small child, all you have to do is lift that up, and they can slide in right in here. This lifts up. So on some vehicles, some competitors' vehicles, what's really interesting is they actually will just, the seats will just slide forward rather than popping all the way up. This is a nice wide opening for the kids to get their backpacks back in there with them, whatever they need to do. Really some nice handy features. Oh, I dropped my list here. Really, really nice handy features there. And you want to put it back up, push it down, lift up, don't have to mess with anything. You're good to go. One other thing I will note on both seats, because this is a 60-40 second row, whereas the back is about a 50-50. There's a spot here in the center. All you do is you pull it, and you can actually slide this seat forward to give more room for that third row. So if you do have some taller passengers back in there taking a short ride, you can make it work in this vehicle. But for the sake of time right now, with me, I'm actually going to kind of get it set up for me. I'm going to slide in running boards, which are standard. Sliding in here, again, very comfortable, very easy. I am going to pull off these nice covers that Toyota provides us for, so you can see these TV screens. They are adjustable, so you can adjust it. So if you're taller, if you're shorter, if you have shorter kids, you can get them set up to where you can actually adjust the screen, the DVD, the entertainment section of this. Really, really nice, easy to use. All you have to do, again, to put these screens, if you're a clean freak like we are, pull these up, wrap them down, and you're set, ready to go. Nice soft touch apportionments on the door right here. Really nice fine leather, nice wood grain right in here. Great nice grip. Door handle, no sunshade along here, but you do have that privacy glass we mentioned. You do have heated seats here, back here, 4-zone climate control, which means you do have the ability of having the second row being able to control their own climate. You sit up a little bit higher, so again, for some full-size passengers, really nice feature there. Plenty of legroom as well, 4 to 5 inches, very easy to use, very easy to operate. Also plenty of headroom, want to point that out too, even with a nice sunroof, again, in the 2016 Land Cruiser. So with that being said, I'll actually kind of hop out to the front seat and we'll go over some of those features. All right, fans, we're here for the front row seat, or the driver and passenger portion of it. Want to show you again some of the apportionments. Real quick, we'll show you the door again. Very similar to the second row seating, a little bit more storage down on the bottom. Obviously, the ability to unlock and lock the doors from there. Nice features, nice soft touch features. Wood grain right along here on the dash. Really is some, honestly, just nice plush leather seats. Absolutely fantastic. Absolute fans of this material. It's really comfortable front row seats. I will say that, and I can't say that enough. So we get into the center console right here, and again, nice soft touch materials. 2 stages to this, 2 compartments. So you have the storage compartment if you wanted to put a phone, some extra change, some papers, whatever it is, you have that capability. You don't have to close it, but you can. And you also have a cooler in here. And some of you are going to say, what on earth am I going to use a cooler for in a vehicle? Well, my wife actually brought up a good point. If you have kids and you want to store some milk or some apple juice, or if you're taking this off-road and you wanted to store some soft drinks, really gives you the ability to do that. No issues, no problems. And it's just honestly absolutely fantastic. It works really well. Again, and once I will say this, when you do have this closed, you don't know what's on. So you can actually turn it on, close it, and it doesn't make a humming noise, doesn't make any loud noises. We were actually just talking the other day about having, again, cooled coolers where you actually power them by plugging them into the cigarette lighters for road trips. No need for that any longer. We get into the front section here, 2 nice cup holders right here, the ability to kind of flip these out and make them a little bit tighter as necessary. I mentioned the locking center differential, the traction control right there, the second start, the power. This is the crawl, the crawl mode that we talked about. You just push that on and off, have the ability of changing that right in here. Really fantastic. Heated and cooled seats here in the front seats, the heated steering wheel. This is another little compartment that has, again, a power source. You can also put your phone, and for us that have the bigger iPhone 6S, the 6 Pluses, you put your phones right in there, stores it real nice, very easy to use, auxiliary and USB right there. We went through the rest of the cabin and the driving portion, so let's kind of cut off. We'll head right to the opinion portion of the 2016 Toyota Land Cruiser. All right, fans, we're here for the opinion portion of the 2016 Toyota Land Cruiser. We actually just talking a second ago about what both my dad and myself think of this vehicle, and we're going to go through some pros real quick. What do we love about this vehicle? Love the features. I love the dual entertainment displays for the kids. I love the new 9-inch N-Tune system. The features in terms of the 4-zone climate controls, the heated second row seats, the heated and ventilated first row seats, the ability to seat 8 passengers here in the back, just again some of the safety features, especially for people like my wife and I who are looking at getting our first SUV as we start a family. This is absolutely fantastic for that. Again, you have the lane keep alert that's going to do that. You have the dynamic cruise control, or the automatic cruise control, I should say. Absolutely fantastic. Love the off-road capabilities. We didn't get to experience that too much, but this car and this SUV, I should say, will do everything and anything that you could ask of it off-road. Again, you have a little bit more clearance than some of its competitors. What do we not like about this car? Well, I'm going to preface this by saying what we don't like about this car is actually really nitpicking, I should say, because there's not a whole lot to not like about this car. And I know that's a double negative, but I guess what could we see better? For our altitude, we would like a little bit more power. It feels like you're driving a truck rather than you're driving a smaller SUV or even a car. And some of you are going to say, well, it's not going to matter. It's got the 5.7 V8. To us, it matters, especially here at our altitude. We would like maybe potentially a supercharged option or just a bigger engine option to go around, even though you can tow 8,100 pounds with this vehicle. The third row seats, we would like to see that, number one, as a power option, to be able to have those also fold into the floor, not using quite as much cargo space as they do now. But again, these are nitpicking options for this vehicle. One thing we will say, and this is, I think, our biggest pro, for $85,000, yes, that's a lot of money for a car, especially for a people hauler. What are you going to get for that car? You're going to get all of the features we talked about, plus, the fact that this car will probably go 500,000 miles, and also, honestly, in a good chance it'll go even more than that, whereas some of its competitors, you're probably only going to get half that from the vehicle before you're going to be running into some major issues. That is one thing you get with the Land Cruiser. You get that nice Toyota sense of reliability and just that Toyota badging, which comes with a lot of safety and security with it. If you want to learn more about this vehicle, head to Toyota's website and also head to your local Toyota dealer and tell them that John and Richard Rush from Driver Radio sent you.